So today's video on maintaining neutral posture in standing for back pain. Okay, and so that's a big question I get asked a lot: is what is the best way to stand? All right, there is no best way to stand, but I will show you some ways that you can kind of relieve pressure based upon some issues that we're dealing with. And so generally, we're gonna have a couple things that we're dealing with. One, if a lot of people will arch their back and kind of stand too far forward. All right, these are people that maybe women that wear heels. Or anybody that has a lot of tightness in the front of their legs. We all wear positive soled shoes, so that's another conversation. But in that case, my weight's going to be my toes, and what that does is causes me to arch my back. It tightens up all the muscles in the front of my body. And so the first step is I want to think about just shifting my weight, my heels a little bit more. Okay, standing a little bit more vertically. Okay, making my body a little bit more weight bearing. Second, I want to drop my ribs a little bit. Okay, and all that means is that if I put one hand on my at the top of my ribs and one hand on my stomach here, if I move those spaces further apart, I'm arching my back. Whereas what I want to do is just kind of drop these two spaces together a little bit so everything is nice and straight. That can also be accomplished by just tightening the butt naps. Okay, and we've talked about that in other videos. But step one, weight in the heels, butt naps tight. Okay, step two, when in doubt, get the legs wider. Okay, wider legs going to disperse force. Okay, it's going to give us a wider base of support. It's going to create a little bit more stability. So standing with your legs wider, shifting your weight back, that's going to put more focus on our hips versus our back. Okay, which is a good thing when we're standing. All right, from there, really the last thing to look at is our upper body. Okay, a lot of times, people will stand with sort of forward head posture, where the head is forward of the body. And the problem with that is that when my head is in front of my body, it's going to carry the rest of my spine along with me and, again, create back pain as well. So what I can do is to kind of just check in throughout the day, take my hands, put them behind my back, squeeze my shoulder blades together and kind of pull back. All right? That just reminds me to kind of pull everything back together, be able to stay in this position. Okay? And again, I'm not going to stand like this all day, but you could potentially, put your hands in your pockets. You can just grab your own butt. That's always fun. And just kind of check in with that throughout the day so you can kind of be conscious of keeping sort of the head on top of the ribs, on top of the pelvis, on top of making sure my weight is in my midfoot, my heels versus my toes. All of that together is, again, going to equal neutral posture as much as we possibly can. That's going to help to alleviate pressure in your back. And that's another way to, again, make sure that we keep our spine in the most neutral position possible to alleviate pain.